So here's the story. Actually, the women are going to tell the story, but the story behind the story, behind the story of us being here tonight, is that shortly after October 7th, Rabbi Bel Michael, who is, Bel, can you just, this is the woman that made this all happen. One person. I mean, many people, but the one person whose idea this was, who made this happen, is Rabbi Bel Michael. I'm relatively new in our community, but she and I started talking about what might be possible as a way for our community to respond to what happened in Israel, especially in the south of Israel near the Gaza Strip on October 7th. And Bel felt very strongly that it was important for us to establish a personal connection. And so through one thing or another, Bel made contact with Elinor, and so it became the two of them who started talking. And Elinor said that she was willing to find other people in her kibbutz, Kibbutz Kfar Azza, which was one of the hardest hit communities in Israel on October 7th. And so the conversation went from there, and it wasn't that long ago that we were just really brainstorming, and it was just sort of very unfocused dreaming. But one thing led to another, and suddenly there were 8 women who said that they were willing, and I can't emphasize strongly enough what a journey this is. You know, to come all the way to the other side of the world, to a community, the only thing they knew about us is that we're a Jewish community. There was no, they didn't know any of us. And they were willing to take the risk to get on the airplane and to come all the way to Santa Barbara so that we could hear their story and meet them and feel a personal connection with Israel in this very difficult time, with the people of Israel in this very difficult time. So I want to thank Bel. I want to thank Lisa and Camilla, who, as Rabbi Daniel expressed, have been amazing. You know, it was only a few weeks ago that I asked them, would you be willing? And the two of them said, I guess. I have no idea what's involved. But it turned out there was a lot that was involved. And so thank you to everybody here who has been part of welcoming the women of Kibbutz Kfar Azza, and a special welcome and thank you. Ifat, Madeleine, Ruth, Elinor, Osnat, Michal, Sigal, and Eti. These have just in 1 week, less than 1 week, they have become part of our family, and we have become part of your family. So at this point, I'd like to turn things over. Elinor is going to begin. Elinor is going to give us a little bit of an introduction, and then we're going to hear from four of the women are going to tell the story a little bit in the limited time that we've got.
Thank you very much. And I'm very emotional, and I'm very thrilled to be here. And after 4 months of texting and talking to Bel, it's came up, and we're here. And it's very meaningful for all of us. And I think from day one, we felt the hug and the love you send us through the text and through the phone, and Bel was the representative of all the community. And the minute we landed here, we saw it. We saw the love and the care through your eyes, your hugs, all the little gestures and the big ones. So first, we want to wish and thank you all of the wonderful community of Santa Barbara for this warm hospitality. And thanks for letting us be part of your community. You're definitely welcome, and this is the beginning of a new friendship and a new family relationship between the community here in Santa Barbara and Kibbutz Kfar Azza. Wherever we are, because as you know, we're not in the kibbutz right now. We will tell you the story of October 7th, but let me just tell you a few words before. What was Kibbutz Kfar Aza like? And so again, my name is Eleanor Biton Bariash. I'm very pleased to be here today. Up until 120 days ago, I probably wouldn't start this conversation the same as I started now, and probably I wouldn't even be here in so far away, beautiful Santa Barbara. But then things happened, and you probably didn't even hear about Kfar Aza up until 120 days ago. And we want to take you for a short look out into our community until October 6th, which was a beautiful place and a beautiful kibbutz. And we're located in western Negev, which is on the border with Gaza. Kibbutz Kfar Aza located less than a mile of the border, and has been established in 1951 and then 1954. As Jewish, there's always difficulties and questions when it was established officially. So we are definitely part of the Jewish world community. And but October 6th, we were a very lively community. We were about 900 people in the community. There were about 120 different businesses of private people that were in the community, from companies, designers, up to a really big factory in Israel that send plastic that helps to the plastic industry. We have two of our members that works in this factory, or one worked, one still is. We had the biggest and the largest media company, the lights and sounds that make all the big concerts that arrive to Israel. They are the one that produce it and bring it. And we're still not a big community, less than 1,000 people, right? We were about 900 people. And as a small community, you probably know that everybody knows each other, and everybody's child is somebody else's child as well. So like Osnat is my cross door neighbor, literally 4 steps away from my house, and her daughter is part of my family. I adopted her, not officially, but definitely we adopted each other, and we all share friends, and we all share kids in different ages, but they're all combined together. Etty was everybody's kindergarten teacher in the kibbutz, so she raised all of our kids. And again, same as the community. You know, some of them you know very well, some of them you know less, but then in a bit, when somebody needs help, you know that you're part of it. There were a list of newly babies that everybody was helping. There were a list of good things we helped. We always adopted a unit of IDF that was part of our lives, and we helped them during COVID. We did their laundry because they didn't go home, like any normal community around the world. And then October 7th happened, and I just want to take us all remember that this was Simchat Torah, and we were about to celebrate it, and we have a small Bet Knesset. We have a small, I'm losing synagogue, thank you. I'm very excited if I forgot that word. Kids or some of our community were excited about doing the Hakafot. Some of them were ready about and excited about our kite festival that were supposed to be taken on October 7th in the afternoon. And then 6:29 a.m. arrived, and everything has changed. Think about green, think about colors, think about beautiful community, and in a second, everything became dark and red and black.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Ruth Yofe. I have been living in Kfar Aza a bit more than 20 years, 22 years, but I'm living in this area 40 years with the army. When I was a soldier, I came to the area and stayed there. So I'm part of this area for a very long time. It's my life there. We have grown up 3 children in Kfar Azza. They are now living in Tel Aviv. They were not that day in our house. They usually used to come and stay for Shishi Shabbat, but this weekend they were not at home. They didn't come to visit. Since October 77, when someone asks me, how are you, ma shlomech, I say I'm in life. I can't say, it's difficult to say something different because the first thing that comes in my mind is just I'm not in life, and it's like, it's all, it's enough. It's not so obvious that I'm alive. And sometimes it's not okay. It's not that I can't say beseder, but it sounds like a bit difficult to say beseder or to say okay. I can enjoy a lot of moments, like I have been enjoying here, of course, but something inside, just the first thing I think is it's my life and it's not so obvious. Why I am alive and not my neighbors? Why my children are with me and not in Gaza, like other children or adults, but are children of their parents? Why my house is okay and Etty's house is not? She hasn't a house. And sometimes I feel a bit guilty about that. And it's just like I've forgotten what happened in this day because it doesn't compare with other things that happen in our community. That day in the morning, like everyone, we come inside the surf room very quickly. We hear after some alarms, a lot of alarms, we hear a lot of people shouting outside, and my husband and me were sure that someone had been hurt from some rocket, because sometimes it's happened. We nearly went outside, but there was a Tzevadon, is how it's called, the red color is what it said in our area. No, it's not sounds like an alarm. And we went into the safe room again. Later on, we discovered that the people shouting were the terrorists that were already in our street. So if we were going outside to see what happened, I'm sure I would not be here telling you the story. And then we stayed in this room for 80 hours with some water and not food. I don't know if to say that I'm lucky, but we had electricity and communication, the telephone communication. We can be in contact with people by the telephone. Other people in the Kibbutz area where they were not connected. They didn't have electricity and they didn't phone or watch TV. And during all these hours, we were all the time with the WhatsApp. You know, that we have in our kibbutz some groups, but we have one that is nearly all the members of the kibbutz are in this group. That is the second hand, and one of my sons opened it when he was living in the kibbutz. Now he's in Tel Aviv, and it's just to sell and buy things second hand in the community. Most of the children that don't live in Tel Aviv, in the kibbutz, they are part of this group, and maybe it helped us a lot because they knew what was going in the kibbutz by this WhatsApp. And slowly or not slowly, we start hear what it was going, and all the place we read people crying for help, saying that the terrorists are in their house. In front of my house, the terrorists were many hours inside the house. We hear people crying that for help, where are you? Please come. Not the soldiers and not the people who come to help them, because it was terrorists all over the kibbutz. the children's, children's, I tell, our children's living not in the kibbutz help a lot, sending and explain the soldiers where are the houses and how to go and to help. One of the, I know so, but one of the most difficult moments was when reading the WhatsApp, we realized that a couple in front of my house, part of our neighborhood, they were just murdered. They called for help, and soon we hear, we couldn't read anymore from them. They said they are here, they are opening the safe room. And I start realizing that maybe I will not live like part of the people. And I was very worried that when if we leave and when we open the door, which kind of kibbutz we will find. I couldn't know, my husband, we couldn't know how many people will be in life, how many people maybe will be killed. We didn't know that people were taken to Gaza in that moment. We realized all this after it. And yeah, since then, everything changed.
So actually, Ifat, Ruth, and myself, we all live in the same neighborhood. That's why we chose to tell you the story of our neighborhood. And as Ruth said, we entered to the room and we spent there many hours, about 22 hours, stayed in a safe room, not going to the toilet, not having water or food. And I have 3 children, a husband and a dog. My oldest is 19, and then 17-year-olds and 14. So spending those hours with my 3 teenagers was probably one of the hardest things. But then when Ruth described it, there was a moment of a stop. My husband ran to the kitchen and came back with knives. So he came back with 3 knives, although we are 5. We entered the door, and then he held 1 knife to my son, and he wanted to give another knife to my youngest son. And we always tease him that he is my baby, right? So I said, no, the baby cannot have a knife. So we were standing there, a mom, a dad, and a boy with a knife, not knowing what to expect. And over the hours, somebody says, take out the doorknob, otherwise people won't be able to open it from the outside. So it was my son's room, and he knew how to take the handle out, and he took it, and we put it aside. And then after a few hours, people are saying that they're saving their lives by holding the doorknob and actually protecting themselves and fighting with the terrorists from the other side, fighting for their lives. Thank you. Fighting for their lives and saving their lives. And I'm looking at the handle, and I'm looking at the door, and I'm realizing I can't, and we will not be able to fight for our lives. So it's either all of us will survive or none of us will survive. And we were trying to communicate between us. And again, our neighborhood had electricity most of the day, and we could have communicate between us. And we knew exactly what's going on. We knew that the bomb that happened behind our door was our neighbors getting murdered. We got notice from other family members around the kibbutz that somebody's mom got murdered, or somebody's brother, a friend of our daughter, that her best friend's losing her brother because he was jumping on the grenade and saving his fiancée. Or you keep hearing that people that were asking for help a couple minutes ago are not answering. And you keep calling them and says, is everything okay? Please send a message, send a location, send sign. And nobody was bringing the message back, and nobody was answering. And it was very hard to understand it. While we had electricity in our safe room, I want to say I'm lucky that my son took the HDMI cable a couple days ago to play Sony PlayStation in the living room and didn't return the cable. as normal as can be. But that was what saved us, because we couldn't open the TV and see what's going on. Yes, we had the cell phone with us. Yes, we could have see what's going on, but neither one of us went online to the social media. Well, the kids a little bit, but then for news sites, and we didn't use this media, so we didn't know exactly what happening, and I think this is what saved us. I always think that if I had known how horrible the situation is outside, I probably would go outside with my hands and say, just save my kids, no matter what, save my kids. And then in the same time, it would be very hard for us. And over the hours, we were in the room, frightening, terrifying, what's going on, listen and hearing all those bombs and yelling in Arabic. And we're hearing that people that were knocking on the door and saying, IDF, IDF. Now, when people at the beginning of the day open the door and says, okay, IDF is coming to protect us, and they realize this is the terrorists and they're fooling us around, and we couldn't trust anyone. So we didn't know what to do. And when they tried to knock on our doors, on windows, nobody answers for a lot of minutes, and then we couldn't trust anyone. I don't know if it's a luck, but the terrorists went up on our roof and our neighbor's next door house, because our house is a little bit higher than the others, and we're assuming they shot from our home, from our roof, from our safe place. They shot soldiers, they shot people in the kibbutz, or our friends, and they definitely took the phrase of safe home from our lives, and we couldn't look at this place as a safe anymore. And every time they went down and went to the front yard, there is a faucet over there, so I guess they opened it and they use it for water. Now what's amazing is I don't remember it. My family said it, my friends, I texted it. So I have evidence of me writing it to my friends, but I don't remember it happening. I do remember that every time they passed the window, they were banging on it, and it's a metal window. So they were banging on the window with some metal. I'm assuming it's the weapon, and as if they wanted to tell us, we know you're there, just wait. So all the hours, sitting there with 3 children, yes, they're not young, but you know, teenagers, they have their own opinions. And I'll tell you, my kids fought. We didn't talk for many hours. They had a fight in the safe room, not saying a word, but their eyes were like doing whatever. And in a way, I thought, okay, we're in a normal situation. But then in a second, I said, what's going on? So it took a lot of time for the troops to arrive to all of our houses, because terrorists were everywhere. There were about 300 terrorists only in Kfar Azza that day. It's a small place. I tell you, if you do a jog and you run around the kibbutz, it's less than 2 miles. This is how big it is. And 300 terrorists is a third of our community. So we had no chance. There was about 40% of homes in Kfar Azza were significantly damaged. A lot of the place was damaged. We had about 19 people that got hostage that day. We still have 5 of them still held in Gaza. We still miss them, and it's hard for us to think about the future and the hope and tkuma. 64 people out of our friends got murdered that day, and we had to deal with 64 funerals in the next couple of weeks. And we had 8 injured and still injured. They're still fighting for their life. Now, we were in the safe room. We couldn't go out. And once the IDF arrived to our area, they tried to evacuate everyone, and it was very hard. They let us go for a few minutes around 9:30 p.m. that day. And they told us, you have 5 minutes, just go to the bathroom, take something to eat, and you need to go back. And I look at them and I says, what do you mean? And he said, yes, you have 5 minutes, think whatever you need to do whatever you need to do, and go back. Just think about what will you take when you need to leave. Now, what would you take when you need to leave your house? So someone took shoes, somebody took clothes, somebody took something. Most of us got away with nothing, only with the clothes and shoes we had on. I was able to take one more pair of shoes. Just imagine you have only 2 pairs of shoes in the world. I didn't take any jewelry, only the one that I still carry with me, as I consider them as my luck charms right now. We were not able to take anything. So we're having homes, but we're homeless. We're having a community, but we are communityless. And we're still in the safe room once the soldiers try to come and rescue us from Azza. And
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Ifat Dromi. I live in Azza for more than 10 years. I moved there from Kibbutz Nirim, that was attacked also. I lived before there in Kibbutz Reim as a soldier that attacked also. And I think since October 7, I don't have much more words. I text a lot of black heart emoji, dots, and sad face. On October 8, 12 p.m., 30 hours after it's all start, I was sitting in a bus, in a school bus, that come to take us to a rescue place. It was our kids' school bus with our school kids, the driver that take our kids every day to school, and he come to take us away from a war zone. I sit on the bus. I have my 2 kids with me, my husband, my dog, my mother-in-law. My sister-in-law and my brother-in-law with other 2 kids already left in a different bus earlier that day. And I understand what happened. I see who's not on the bus with us. I know who didn't answer back to our text. And I'm going to share with you what my little boy, 14 years old, wrote 2 days after, when we realized, after 3 days of fighting in the kibbutz, they succeed to take out our friends, our family, that was murdered. It took 3 days to get to them, and a week after just to bury them. And I'm going to read what my boy wrote on October 9. 14 years old. I'm the mother of a 14 years old that lost his best friend and all his family. And this is what he wrote. How can I start? Iftach, Yonatan, Aviv, Livnat, Rotem. 7:30 a.m., they let us know there's terrorists in the kibbutz. The first things I did is to write to you, to write all your family. Are you okay? Hour after I didn't hear from you, and you are the one that always available, I start to be worried. Are they okay? Is there an internet problem? Maybe they forgot their phone outside. Maybe they didn't get a chance to take it. Are they okay? After they rescue me and my family, there's still not a sign from you. A whole day that I don't know. And every second I write to you, but you still don't answer me. October 9th, 2023, 11:30 a.m. They let me know that the Kibbutz family found dead in their home when Aviv, the father, hugged them all together. Iftach, this is my son's best friend. I know you since I was 3 when I arrived to Kfar Aza. You will always be my best friend. We passed and did everything together. And the most important thing, it was only good things. We went together everywhere. Hand by hand, we chose to go to a boarding school together now, and we will always be together. You will be always in my heart, Kibbutz family. And Iftach, you are my best friend in this whole world. I'm a mother of a boy that lost everything. I'm a woman, a strong one, that barricaded the doors of her home at 6:30 in the morning, that took shirts, cut them down to ropes, that was strong for more than 20 hours in the shelter, that put her kids in the closet and tell them, do not go out, whatever happened, stay in the closet. Even if you hear something happened to me or Dad, stay there. And I'm a broken woman now. How can I help my child? How can I make sure he will grow up with no pain? I don't have answer.
So it's really hard to talk about after all the stories. Family Kibbutz was my friend also, and it's very sad for me. And I lost a lot of my friends, and my life it's like it's cliche, but before 7 October and after 7 October. My name is Madeleine Bing. I'm from Kfar Aza. I have 4 kids. And it's very difficult for me to speak in English, but I tried. And I choose to talk about something nice because what's happened to us in 7 October, it's like hell. I was 14 hours with my 2 kids, Shira and Diali, in the mamad, in the security room. And I had a miracle. The terrorist was in my house, in my home. There was a weapon. They make, Hamal. Headquarters. And they didn't saw the door of our security room, we only stay in the room without talking. We are like was like shocking. My Shira, she is soldier. She all the time was in the phone with three forces. She sent them places and every message to save people in the kibbutz. Me was all the time in the phone with the security and all the groups from the kibbutz, and we saw what's happened. We didn't saw nothing, but we heard about something who dead, a little like shmuot, rumors, and we stayed there. Staying for something we didn't know. We don't know what we stay, but so in 10 o'clock in the night, the army come to take us. Before the army bombs our house because they think that the terror was in our house. They want to kill them. But they go to another place, and we survive. And after we go, wait a minute. And when we go out to some place to take us to another place, we go from the road that. I don't want to. It was horrible pictures all over the road. Burn car, bodies, all over the road. It was. I don't. It's like a game video. It's unbelievable. So after it, when we came to Shfaim, all the community, the most of community live in Shfaim in the hotel, and after 2 months that I didn't know who am I, what I'm going to do. Now גם עכשיו, still now don't know what I'm going to do, but I manage the store of belong to the kibbutz. It's a donation from all over the country and all over the world. They bring us a lot of what we need. What we need, we have there. Not a TV or something like this, because we have in the hotel, in the room. We have food, babies, diapers, shampoo, everything for what we need. Basically things, and clothes and coat and boat and shoes and everything. It's very nice to be there. It's called La Palit. La Palit, it's like Galerie Lafayette. Palit in Hebrew, it's a refugee, so La Palit. And it's very funny and very nice, and a lot of people like to come there and take everything free, no money, and it's nice. I have a lot of volunteers. They want to come and make לקפל, to make order. They have to organize everything, and they like to be there, and it's nice. It's very nice to be there, and it's like it's make us very normal, I think.
We get the hug
we get hug from everybody. We get chimidan from Melbourne, London, USA, New Jersey, all over the world, and from Israel also. I want to thank you all for everything, and that's it, I think.
Thank you. And I think we want to, yes, it was a horrible day, and we're still, licking the bruise. And tomorrow we're going to share our stories in more personally level, where we're going to sit around tables, and each one of us will sit next to a different table so you can hear the story. But today in Shfaim, we're trying to rebuild our community in a different way. I want to say we arrived to Shfaim, it was Sunday late afternoon. Wednesday morning, kindergartners were open already in preschool. Ruth was one of the teachers, and Osnat was taking care of it. Like in the kibbutz, we had after-school programs. We didn't have school yet, but the social events for the kids started from day one. We organized very, very fast to do activities for elementary school and middle school and high school. And at the beginning, the high schoolers helped the younger kids in the morning. And then when they didn't want to come, we always smile and says, okay, as long as they're being teenagers, we're okay. And we all look all the time how we can help each age group and what their needs. And I asked Usnat once, how do you order supply? And she said, I don't know. I open the door in the morning and it's there. So we got a lot of donations with just paints and papers and stuff like this. And you should understand, it's very hard for us to get those donations. We never got a donation before. Now, I work with kids fighting cancer, so I always stand from the other side. I'm always the one that's give and support and walk and help and find donation and find presents and find whatever we can. And then suddenly I'm realizing I'm standing in the other side, and now we all need to receive, and we don't know how to do it. It was very hard for us, and although Madeleine said it again with a smile that everybody's going to the store, the hardest thing was for each and every one of us was taking the shampoo by free, because we all can pay for the shampoo, but we couldn't make the effort, and we couldn't actually walk to the store. First, we didn't have cars. We were evacuated by buses. We walked 2 miles out of the kibbutz just to avoid the terrorists, and lucky us, they didn't shoot us, although they were around us. We couldn't go to the pharmacy or the CVS, the Israeli CVS. We couldn't go there. So we really needed those donations, and it's probably the hardest thing that we all remember, the fact that we needed to go and get somebody else's donations. We want to thank again the community, Santa Barbara community, and especially congregation Bnei B'rith. We want to give you ownership from us. It's for you. Rabbi Steve. And thank you so much, Rabbi Steve, for being, I think Belle said it, being the mensch you are from day one. Thank you so much. And again, everyone we see around the streets, or we meet you here, thank you so much for the warm welcoming. And again, this is just the beginning of a wonderful friendship.
I hope that you all realize what you have given us in coming here. We know that this is a very important moment in Jewish history, and you've allowed us to be part of it. And we do look forward to continuing the connection. We look forward to coming to Israel and visiting you. And to bringing more people from Kibbutz Kfar Azza also. So as has been said, there will be an opportunity tomorrow afternoon. Well, actually, I don't know, Belle, what's the plan for tonight? Is it basically going on to the evening with the Israelis later on? So anyway, from here we have a few last prayers. We will go into the fellowship hall. We'll make kiddush, and we'll have oneg Shabbat, some dinner. And the women will stay for as long as they can, but then they're going on to meet with our local Israelis here from Santa Barbara. Tomorrow afternoon, we have Sudah Shlishit, starting at 4 o'clock in the fellowship hall. And that will, as Eleanor said, that will include much more opportunity for interaction, for actually asking some questions. They all speak excellent English. Different levels, but excellent English, all of them. You. So if you want to come, there will be also a potluck dinner and also singing. And we'll end with Havdalah. That's tomorrow. So, the other thing that I'll just close with this, that I was thinking about as I was listening to you speak tonight. You reminded me. I always think of this. I always remember. But you reminded me again tonight of what I love so much about Israel. You meet somebody, you meet an Israeli, and immediately they open up to you and make you feel like you are part of the family. And especially the four of you who spoke this evening, thank you so much. You've never met these people, so all 8 of you, you've given so generously of yourselves. To us in this time when we need to be connected to you. So thank you. A special thanks also to there were 9 women in our communities who were the sisters and spent much of this past week. So each one of the 8 had a sister from our community, and I know that they really felt like you were sisters. Yeah. So I'm going to turn things over back to Rabbi Daniel, and maybe some of us can help our guests move their chairs back to the front row so that they don't have to do it themselves.